Now we're going to talk about switching. So unlike static, or unlike the clicking category where you gotta click on each target, switching, you're just going to hold down the fire button. You can hold down the whole round. You don't need to like do it. You don't need to like hold it here, let go of it, hold it here, let go of it, hold it here. You can just hold it down the whole time. It's fine. So that's one difference. Second difference is the targets are much bigger in switching and also in switching tasks, and so therefore you can use a slightly higher sensitivity. And because you don't have that clicking timing, it also allows you to use a slightly higher sensitivity. And because distances are usually pretty far apart, you're also going to use a slightly higher sensitivity to help close those gaps in a little bit, make it feel more responsive. So like that does not feel very responsive, right? 0.6, kind of slow. Doesn't feel very responsive. Let's increase our sensitivity a little bit. Let's increase it to a 0.8. So you can keep the 5% dead zone though. Again, 0.8, still not that much higher, but again, like I said, I'm demonstrating that you don't need high sensitivities, you don't need low dead zones to get good scores. That just by focusing on the fundamentals, focusing on the tech, and all that, you can get good scores. You can get good scores with lower sensitivities, higher dead zones. You don't need to go all crazy with it. So this, you just want to follow the same principles that you learned in static when we did VCT, Latham King, is just to look for groupings, stay towards the middle, and stay away from lone targets. So we're just going to do it now. Stay towards the middle, towards the middle, towards the middle, towards the middle. Well, maybe that would have been a little better towards the middle. Nice grouping right there. That nice grouping. Another important thing to learn here too is switch timing. So you want to wait to verify the target is gone before you switch, which again on this task, very low switch timing or very low TTK. And so it's kind of hard to really do that because as soon as you hit it, you're basically killing it. But yeah, you just want to focus on just making sure, okay, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone before you switch. Because, of course, obviously, if you go off it early, then you have to come back for it, and you just waste the time, just like anything else. So that's really it. Casually, almost 800, right? Like, that's a really good score. If you can hit that, you're doing great, right? Like, that's my kind of point here. Whatever kind of scores I gave, if you can hit those, whatever scores you've seen me, if you can hit those, you're doing fantastic, right? Like, even if it takes you a little while to get there, once you hit those scores, you're solid. You got some solid aim. It's really when you see those really low scores, it can be a little disheartening to see me, hitting these scores. But you gotta remember, when I started, I wasn't that good either. Okay, trust me. You can go back and watch the intro to the series video where I show how god awful I was when I first started. I promise you, I was worse than you were. Okay, so with reach switch, there's one target on the screen at one time. These are called reflex or reaction tasks. When there's one target on screen. Do this. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to wait. What you want to do is bring yourself back center. Center. Bring yourself out and then look for the next target. The reason you want to bring yourself back center is if you're way over to one edge, you may not see it spawn. You just want to wait until watch it spawn in. See, like I didn't see that spawn in, but if I went towards the middle, I would have seen it. So you just want to kind of go towards the middle. Just like that. There, so I didn't see that one. I probably wouldn't even seen that if it wasn't in the center, but that's all right. That's another kind of important skill too, is to recognize kind of, okay, I don't see the target. Let me adjust my view a little bit. So right now, if I didn't see it right now, I would know that it's down here in this quadrant, and then to go ahead and start moving myself in that direction. You don't want to change your FOV. Again, this is a reaction kind of thing, and so you also give yourself a little slight practice on. And again, 76,000. That's pretty good. I mean, you say I have 82,000 is my personal high score. Again, if you can hit these scores right here that you're seeing in this video, again, you're doing good, right? You don't need crazy high sensitivities. We're still on at 0.8, 5% dead zone. Nothing crazy, right? I mean, you can work your way up to that pretty easily, if not right off the bat. Now we're going to talk about evasive switch. I'm going to play this just like you did dynamic. So dynamic with like angle shot and wave shot. This is going to be more angle shot. They kind of move diagonally. There's only 4 targets, so you want to look out for grouping. So you have these 2 over here. This one's by itself. This one's by itself. So you want to leave those alone. You also want to look for targets that are kind of converging in together. So maybe this one's alone. Maybe there's one here, one down here. Those are lone targets. So maybe this one's moving up this way, this one's moving down this way. Those are going to converge. So you don't want to pop here and knock them out. Right now, you pretty much play exactly as you do with angle shot, except you're switching. Right, you just hold the button down, your fire button down, and there's a little bit tracking to it, just a little bit, no more than there was when we were talking about in the clicking lesson. All right, so we're just gonna start over here. Under here converging. That wasn't the best target to go to. It was a little bit on its own. Boom, so you can see these two right here all converging together. Again, you just want to make those full flicks. And you also just kind of want to judge when you want to make not quite a full flick. I feel like these targets are usually spread out enough that you can do a full flick to pretty much all of them. Again, I'm on a 0.8. 5% dead zone, right? So nothing crazy. We're not out here, looking like we're on mouse doing like these insane flicks, right? You don't really need to do that to get really good scores. The more solid your score is, the better you're going to be in game 2, right? So just because you're not on high sensitivity doesn't mean that you're not going to improve in your game. 100, almost 100. Pocket got 100 easily, casually. Just boom, look at that right there, just right off the bat. Low sensitivity, high dead zone, no problem. Right now, I'm talking about wave switch. So wave switch, unlike wave shot, they don't go back and forth like this, like they do in wave shot. Rather, they're just going to kind of go back and forth, kind of move around a little bit, and they're going to form groupings, just like an angle shot, because they're not just going back and forth, they're kind of meandering in different directions and form groupings. You want to go towards groupings, you want to stay away from lone targets, and you want to focus on the middle when you can. You also want to, of course, like here, you want to be nice and smooth, and then flick. Smooth, flick, right? Just like you learned on depth shot, just like you learned on static click and all the other tasks, right? You just want to be, when they're close together, you don't need to do big harsh flicks. You can just be nice and smooth with it. And again, because this is switching, you just hold down the fire button and you're good to go. So we're just gonna start here. So I'm gonna look for a target that just made a movement. So that one just moved, that one just moved, that one just moved, but it was kind of far away, so it moved again. That one just moved, that one just moved. Okay. There you go. So that's what I mean by, you want to make sure you confirm that the target's destroyed before you get off it. As you just saw a second ago, and right there, I did not confirm the target was gone before I went off it. It's again a very important skill to develop. Well, now, so that way when you start to get better, you're not trying to break that habit. Just like with reactive track, you want to wait to confirm the target moved before you adjust your aim. Of course, if you're paying close enough attention to targets, which one just moved, you shouldn't have to really worry too much about that. Again, using it 0.6, 5% dead zone, got 56. If you get 60 on this, that's very, very solid. At 50, again, that's going to be really great. And we're also going to increase our sensitivity a little bit here. And we're also going to change our HFOV. So here's going to be an example of changing this. So we're just going to change it to a 7.5. That's just going to give us a little bit better view of the board vertically, so that we can see the targets better. And pop this up to a 0.8. So only 5% dead zone. And because these are moving horizontally, you want to follow the same rules as we did on wave shot. You want to stay in the center, so kind of right here in this kind of board. You want to avoid targets that are leaving, that are going this direction. You want to avoid targets that are out here, and you want to go for targets that are moving in. So if this one's moving in, you can go for it because it's moving in. You want to try to stay focused on targets that are inside already. If there are no targets, focus on that are moving in. If there's no targets, none of them are moving in, just try to go for the closest one. Nothing too crazy with that. You just want to do a full flick, and then of course you want to do a little bit of tracking. This can be slightly tracking. So you go full flick to smoothness, right? Full flick, smooth, full flick, smooth, right? Yeah, pretty simple. And you're just going to follow the same principles of pathing and grouping, and we're just going to go ahead and play. Here, confirming that the target is destroyed. Right there's in the center. Right there's in the center. This one's going back towards the center. just going to focus on all the things we've already learned. And 62. 60, that's a really good score again. Like I said, not using a high sensitivity, not using a low dead zone. You don't need those things to have good aim. And I mean, obviously, right, 60 is very solid. So keep going. You're doing great. And once you get done with this through all these videos, your aim is gonna be freaking phenomenal. All right, so keep going. And because this video was a little bit shorter, I am gonna go ahead and iterate a little bit more on the replay system and why it's important to watch replays. Because I did quite a bit of mistakes in that run, using a little bit lower sensitivity I'm used to, so I just kind of made a few mistakes, but that's okay. So again, you just want these nice, you want this nice green. So between targets, you want green. You're pretty much going to be full flicking to all these targets. They're pretty much far away. It's very rarely if they're going to be close together. Again, see, I had this nice little arc to it. It wasn't perfectly straight. And that's fine. I can have a little bit of an arc to it. Don't need to worry about that. And that's going to be, again, for all tasks. You're going to analyze this the same way. So I got on the target right here. And I tracked it fairly nicely. Not perfectly, maybe. That's okay. I'm just going to do that one. That was a really good one, right? That's nice green. Got on it, tracked it, got off it. So right there, I think I overflicked it a little bit, didn't I? Yeah, so I overflicked it a little bit. Didn't quite get on it right. So that's going to tell me that's something I need to work on. I need to work on making sure that I'm not overflicking past them, that I'm meeting them into a better spot. So that was pretty good right there. Boom, I met it right here. Got on it, tracking it, right? There's no squiggly scragglies. It's nice and straight, nice and even coloring. There, that was a very good example of overflicking. So you see it's nice and curved. That's fine. It doesn't have to be a straight line. It can be curved. Don't need to worry about that. It's not an issue. That's not really an issue. What is an issue is, though, is that I overflipped the hell out of that. See right here, I came. First of all, I didn't meet it. I came too far forward of it. And then I overshot it. So all this from here to here, that's time wasted. And now I'm bringing it back down to meet with it. Again, getting way ahead of myself here. Getting way a little bit ahead. And when I do get in front of it, I do line up with it, I'm still too far ahead. It's because I'm pushing my stick a little too fast. And that's just, something's going to happen, right? You're not going to be perfect every time. And that's okay. As long as you understand why that's bad, as long as you can understand to see that why it's bad, how to analyze that it was bad, you can fix it. Again, right there, got too far ahead. I stopped. You don't want to stop like that. You just want to meet with the target as best you can. Another really good example. That was perfect. This is a good example of what it should really look like. It's a curved line, that's fine. It didn't go straight down. You don't need to do that. Don't worry about that. But you can see right here. Boom. Right as I get on it, I'm matching its direction. Boom, I'm on it, and I'm speed matching with it. Came from up here down here, but that's okay. As long as you're on the target, you're speed matching it properly. A little bit of wave to it, but that's okay. You don't still want those little squiggly scragglies, which aren't really in this replay. So I decided to go for this one because this one's coming in. Looks like I originally was going to go for that one, and I realized this one was moving this way. So I made a slight adjustment, and that's okay. You can make adjustments while you're aiming at something to aim at something else. Again, right here, boom, nice. Quite a bit of yellow here. I probably wouldn't want it to be that yellow. Just probably more like right here is where I want the yellow to really start. And I over flick it like hell. Look at that, that's crazy. I get on it, and I don't really speed match it that well. I kind of come off a little bit, get back on it. Boom, that was another really good one right there, right? Let's watch that one. So this is a good example of I'm going this way, it's going that way. Let's go ahead and knock this down to a quarter here. Boom, here I do my stop because I'm going to be inside the dead zone. Inside the dead zone, your crosshair stops. Boom, and then I make my adjustment to flick it back. That green straight to red. That's beautiful. No yellow at all. That's clean. This was a clean grab right here. I'm on the target. I've got this nice yellow line. I'm tracking really well. Boom, I come flick up. Come right here. I'm off just a little bit, but I make a little micro adjustment, a little micro correction, and that's okay. As long as you make that micro correction in time, it's not really an over under flick. So here, that was a really good transition. Got a little bit too far ahead of it. Something to work on, right? This is what you want to do when you look at replays. You just want to look at where you're over flicking, where you're under flicking, or maybe not speed matching very well, or you have maybe too many scriggly scragglies. Those are things you want to look out for. You want to know how to fix those. Again, you can watch the clicking video, the clicking lesson to learn more about how to do that. I just wanted to iterate a little bit again because this video was a little bit short. I felt like I could just add this in just to remind you guys about that. Subscribe to stay up to date, like to give support, and comment your questions to help the community improve. Join the Discord to get access to extra resources and meet other aimers. Stay positive, be supportive of others, respect the sport of aiming by staying humble, honest, and having integrity. Thank you for watching.